Good afternoon and welcome. Hate speech is very different from speech which you hate. That's a line from a rapper, Tom McDonald. He's an online superstar and a great anti-woke rapper. I recommend you look him up. That's Tom McDonald. But I thought I'd make a video around that line because hate speech is not an argument. To disagree with somebody or a concept cannot be considered hate speech. And it is being considered hate speech around the globe. We can't speak our minds. Now, that's a pretty hateful thing not to be able to do, actually. But when people are scared to speak their own minds. But it's the world we live in. What's hate speech? Hate speech is, and we're going to look this up together after I give you my definition. Speech that incites people to do physical harm, threatens to do physical harm, or incites people to do physical harm to a person and or groups. That would be hate speech. A letter or an email, probably email these days, or something on Twitter saying I'm going to come round your house and beat you up, or even worse. That's hate speech. Okay. Someone saying, I think this whole transgender movement is about popular culture. That's an opinion and it can be argued. It's not hate speech. Because I don't believe in the transgender culture and because I don't believe it's always existed through history, and there's a good reason for that. Because if so many people were bound to commit suicide without their therapy, how come there's no litany of suicides in history? We'd know about that. So I don't agree with the movement. I talk a lot about it, but I'm willing to have the argument. I'm not going to take it personally. I'm not going to come out of it. I might come out feeling I didn't do my best, but that's all I'll take personally. What's said to me won't come and be attached to me, but you can't ask everyone to agree with your views. You can't call women TERFs because they're not in favour of the trans community. You can't just say they've abandoned feminism because they're very different things. So that's not hate speech. What J.K. Rowling said, none of that's hate speech. Digging up people's pasts and finding that they once made a slightly racist or homophobic tweet or something, a joke that shouldn't have happened. By all means, if you have to, call it out, or whatever you do. I don't know how you get the hate speech police involved. I don't have their number. But this person shouldn't lose their job over something. If someone now went on national TV and said, I hate, and listed a whole load of minorities, they would, of course, naturally lose their job. And that would be very wrong. But for somebody to be, but in 2008, you said this, and then suddenly they're penniless and their careers are ruined. That's not hate speech. That's maybe a bad joke. We are of our time. We grow up, or we used to anyway. And what was hate speech in our generation, and the generations older than me, and the ones slightly younger than me, I'm in my 40s, don't see it that way. We, at the time it was funny. Now, if it's not funny, fine, we won't say it again. But we don't need to lose our jobs over it. We don't need to be persecuted. We don't need to be mobbed up on. We don't need lives ruined because of that once held bad joke, once held belief. The world has changed. People change with it. And that is the end of that. And now we're going to look up the definition. And we'll see how many alternate dictionaries are there before the English one, just for fun. So we're going to look up the definition of hate speech. It's truly amazing, by the way, how hard it was to get that information. I couldn't even get onto the English dictionary, the Oxford English dictionary, but I got the Cambridge dictionary, which defines hate speech as a public speech that expresses hate or encourages violence towards a person or group based on something such as race, sex, religion, sex, or sexual orientation. So there you go. I got it pretty bang on. Stop overusing the word when what you mean is I'm arguing with you and I don't agree with you. Arguments are fine. We can have them and survive them. If you like this, please do subscribe and share. If not, please feel free. You probably left anyway, so don't worry.